holiday was perfect in every way for the first 3 days. Beaches, beautiful, lovely scenery, temperature, perfect. And on the 4th day, my daughter was in the swimming pool and I went down to join her, and there was a sign that said, "Do not go here, wet surface." So I said, "Okay, fine, I won't go in that wet surface." And the man said, "Don't worry about that, ignore that, it's okay, come on down." So I did, and came down with a bang. I went up to the room I was sharing with my parents and thought I was okay. So we went on continuing with our family thing. And the next day, my back was just black and blue from top to bottom, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew I didn't have any travel insurance, which was a really dangerous thing to do, so I didn't go to the hospital. I just thought, it'll get better, it'll get better. And that was the beginning of the end of my career, my friendships, everything. It was just that incident, that 5 seconds in Hawaii just toileted my life at that point. The concrete step that I fell on caused my back injury, and it shot my L4, L5 out of alignment. And after the operation, which I thought would relieve all the pain and make me back to where I was, back to a normal lifestyle, the operation didn't. The operation left me with what's called drop toe on my left foot. When I tried to walk, I'd take 5 or 6 steps, and if I wasn't consciously thinking of every step, my left toe would catch and I would cascade all over the floor. After the 5th, 6th, 50th, 70th, 80th time, I knew that my career had ended. I couldn't teach. I enjoyed teaching, I loved teaching, but you can't walk across a smooth surface and fall flat on your face 5 or 6 times a day without people starting to think maybe she's on drugs, maybe she's drunk, what's wrong with her. But I also knew the amount of concentration I was spending on my physical body was preventing me from thinking about my job. I had no energy left at the end of the day. And the only fortunate thing that happened was that at that particular time, about a year later, after having struggled through 4 different schools, they were offering packages, and I just put my hand up and said, "Yes, I'll take it. I'll take a package and I'll go," because I physically and mentally couldn't keep going at this kind of work. It was really hard because I had to admit that I had always been me, the paycheck, the work was me. And suddenly I had to refocus and figure out the new me. And so I sort of sat for a few months and tried to get physically a little bit better, which wasn't working. I just had to learn how to be hypervigilant about every step I took. I went back to school for 6 months and did a couple of grade 11, grade 12 subjects, funnily after school that I had been teaching. And I really enjoyed that. It stimulated my creativity and told me that my brain was still working even if my body was giving up on me. And the next year I went back and did a master's degree at university. We crammed a whole master's into 1 year, which was pretty intensive mentally, but it was something that my soul needed to think, I could still think I was still a person who was important. So the back had really done a good job on my ego. I had always been the kind of person that if I felt pain, you just ignored it and it went away. And this would not go away. This became a daily kind of process, and a lot of pain relievers involved in my life. And I didn't recognize it at the time, but the pain relief was also causing depression, major depression on my part. And I didn't understand what depression was. I thought in a depression you had to be sad and unhappy. And then I did a lot of reading and discovered that in a depression you lose interest in your daily life. Well, I didn't have any interest in my daily life. I didn't have any space in my daily life to think about things that were good in my life. So I went down a really heavy spiral to the bottom of the pit. And at that point, my daughter said, "Right, I'm leaving," because she was 18 and she went off to live with her dad. So I had the cat. The cat and I were compatible because the cat didn't demand things from me, saying, like, "Look at me, talk to me." The cat would just sit, if I was in a painful mood, I would sit in the chair and the cat would sit on me. We'd watch TV and things like that. But I couldn't get over the pain. Despite all the medication, I couldn't get over that pain barrier. I think when you're on antidepressants, which cause you to be depressed, you don't recognize what's going on. If you're spiraling down, it's just something that's happening a day at a time, down, down, down. I was thinking that I tried everything. I tried physiotherapy, which has helped a little, acupuncture, which helped a little. The biggest problems with a back injury and being a very determined person to move forward is that the back injury was there. It was going to mess my life up, whatever I did. The third job that collapsed on me said, look, you can't teach because of the walk. You can't work because of the pain level. And you can't work if you're on pain relief because then your brain is not there for the job. So that was the end. And that happened about 3 years ago. So I guess I'd been fighting for about 12, 13 years to stay on top of it. And with that came the realization that there was only one person who was going to take care of me, and that was me. And if I wanted a better quality of life, I was going to have to decide how that better quality of life came about. And I did some artistic things, you know, beading and sewing and painting and those kind of things, because I didn't want to give up on my brain just because I gave up on my body. And I mean, there's a potential that I may have grandchildren in the future, and this is the only life I get. You know, if I'm going to be depressed and unhappy and miserable, then what's the use? There's just so much damage that's been done in my life from a 2-second incident. If I only have one life, I want quality. But it's still a daily battle to suppress the pain and keep the brain working. So I look for creative outlets, and you just have to learn to move forward and to make new goals, to go in new directions that have been forced on you, and to seek the most positive resolution. One thing I'm doing at the moment is planning to build a new house. I have a 1966 house, which might have been great in 1966, but because of our reactive soil, it's kind of falling apart. I'm finished with being educated. I'm up to a master's level in education, and I will sit that on a shelf. But now I want to be creative and enjoy life the best way I can. I think you've always got to have a forward focus, because if you just stay in today, and today is a very painful place to be, then you might just give up. And I'm not the kind that gives up. My family lives to 92, 93, and you know, and I thought, well, good, I'm going to have a quality of life and move forward to 93. So it's been, the back has put a spanner in the works for sure. But I want to plan a house that is wheelchair friendly in case I end up in a wheelchair. Nice wide doors, places to entertain, nice, you know, place that I would like to invite people into instead of kind of looking at big cracks in the wall thinking, oh wow, I wonder how long it's going to be before this house goes down. Some of the things I've done in relationship to overcoming the back pain, I go to a water exercise class 3 times a week. And I do yoga, which is very good, stretching and trying to get that one vertebrae that's out of alignment back in. My advice, if somebody was going into a black hole like I did, is surround yourself with people you trust. Remove people who are dependent on you, because you are going to have to spend a lot of time building your own self-esteem and your own energy levels. Focus on the future. Have something positive in your day-to-day life and something to look forward to.